My go-to source for finding rare discontinued puzzles like these ones behind me is eBay. Now I know there are a lot of puzzlers who do not want to go anywhere near eBay, but just take a few minutes and hear me out. Hi, I'm Sandra from the Puzzling Canadian and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to delve into the world of eBay. Now I know this can be a touchy subject for some puzzlers. You may have had a bad experience on eBay. The shipping costs are high. The prices can be overinflated. However, it can be a great source to find that unicorn puzzle. And that's exactly what I use eBay for. I go to eBay in order to find that rare discontinued puzzle that I can't find in my neck of the woods. So I'm going to share with you some of the eBay finds that I have picked up over the last few years, and then give you a little bit tips if you're planning to buy a puzzle on eBay. So one of my first eBay purchases for this year, 2023, was this puzzle here, a 1,500 piece puzzle, and it is called Coffee and Cake. It's a 2017 puzzle. I first saw it on a Facebook group in the UK, and I hadn't been able to find it here anywhere in Canada, but it came up this year on eBay from a US seller. So I'm going to show you the clip of me putting the puzzle together and tell you the story behind this puzzle. So this coffee and cake puzzle by Ravensburger was one that I really wanted, but I could not find in my area. I did try to look, couldn't find it, and I was happy to find it early this year on eBay. However, it was quite expensive. It was somewhere in the $40 range. That's 40 US dollars for a used puzzle, and I did not want to spend that amount of money on a used puzzle. So I just added it to my wish list, and I waited. And I waited several weeks. It could be almost like a month, and there was no movement. Nobody purchased the puzzle. I knew that 1,500 piece puzzles are not always in great demand, so I took the risk to just wait it out. And then after about a month, the seller reduced the price, but it was still very expensive. But after a while, I decided I think I'm going to try to make an offer because they had that feature set up, and I made an offer of a few dollars less, and the seller declined it. So I waited several weeks again. The seller reduced the price again slightly, not too much. I think it was still in the range of $32, $33 US. And then I decided to make another offer. So I made another offer and the seller declined me again. So at that point I thought, well, I think I'm just not going to get this puzzle because I'm not willing to pay that price. And the seller is not, taking any of my offers. So I stopped watching it. After several weeks again, I got a little curious and I decided to do a search to see if someone bought it, and it was still there. So I watched it some more. The seller reduced the price again, and I wasn't going to make an offer because chances are they're going to decline. So I just continually watched it. And I think after several weeks, now we're like, the puzzle was posted in wintertime and now it's spring. It's still there. And after that, the person reduced it again to $19.99. And I'm like, oh, that's a much better price. It's still fairly expensive for a used puzzle, but because this is very rare, I can't find it, I think it was pretty reasonable, and I decided to pick that up quickly before somebody else purchased it. So I was really happy I got it, but it's funny that if the seller had just taken my first couple of offers, they would have received way more money than, the $19.99. But I guess it's better for me, and I really enjoyed doing it. I liked the grid. There was a lot of different colors. Of course, the darker sections took me a while, as you can see. And what was left was the blue pieces. And those were the ones that I sorted into shapes and then started to work on them. But overall, it was really good. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I purchased it, and I waited it out. I think sometimes now in this market, patience pays off because it is a buyer's market. There's a lot of things, a lot of puzzles out there, and we can wait it out for a better price. So there you have it, my 1,500 piece puzzle, Coffee and Cake. It was very enjoyable to put together. It took me a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I had a good time assembling it. And every time I was working on it, I felt like getting a cup of coffee or getting a latte, and that's what ended up happening. So I had a lot of coffee while I was doing that puzzle. So let me show you some of the other puzzles that I found on eBay over the last few years. So one of the brands that I regularly search for on eBay is White Mountain. It's one of my favorite brands. There are some unicorn puzzles that I'm out there searching for, but some of those prices on eBay can just be really ridiculous. Like I'm looking for Placid Waters, and right now the price is really crazy on there. So one of the White Mountain puzzles that I stumbled across while searching was this puzzle here called Paradise. And while I was browsing, I saw this one and it just looked like a very relaxing scene to me. I know that there is a lot of green. It's probably going to take me a while, but I just found this image really relaxing. And so I ended up picking this one up at a good price. So another brand that I regularly search on eBay is Ravensburger. And I usually search for the 1,000 piece puzzles, but on occasion I will search 500 pieces or more, like 1,500 pieces or 2,000. I have been able to find some 1,000 piece puzzles that are quite unique that I haven't seen in my area. One of them is this one here, which is called Laguna Cafe. It is a 2001 puzzle, and again, I just love the image. And in this one specifically, so many beautiful colors. Sometimes when I'm searching on eBay, I will search just new puzzles. And when I was doing that, I came across this one here. So this one is called, I think it's called Magic Dance. It's a 2003 puzzle. I thought it would be great to pick it up because it's something different that I don't have in my collection. And the price was very good for a new puzzle. It was $9.99 US. So I was really happy with this one. So one of the brands that I regularly search for is FX Schmid. Now that is a brand that is no longer around. It was once owned by Ravensburger, and their quality is just like Ravensburger. And on eBay, you can find a lot of these puzzles, both used and a lot of them new. So recently I found FX Schmid puzzle that was brand new, and I think this was probably the best deal I have found on eBay for a new puzzle. So it was a 1,500 piece puzzle, and it is called Village Hotel, and I think it is from 2006. I loved the image, and it was brand new, and I couldn't pass it up because it was, I think it was, let me check here, $6 US was my final price for that. Now, of course, that doesn't include shipping, but for a brand new puzzle that's discontinued and you can't find, I think that was pretty good. When I usually purchase from eBay, I usually end up purchasing from US sellers or Canadian sellers. I don't often purchase overseas because the shipping costs can be very high. However, there's only one puzzle that I purchased that was from Germany, and it was this one here. It is a Schmidt puzzle, Michael Young, and it's called Greyhound, and I think it was from 2013. So I purchased this one because it's a Michael Young puzzle, and I like the artist, and he has several others in this collection here. And I've done this one already, and it's very hard to find these Michael Young puzzles in a Schmidt. No, these ones unfortunately are mostly in Europe, so it's hard to get. This was the only one that I ever purchased from Europe. Now, another brand that I regularly search on eBay is the Hay puzzles. Specifically, I'm searching for Victoria Francis. These ones here are not Victoria Francis. I think this one here, I ended up getting in a bundle with some other Victoria Francis puzzles. This one's called Reading. It's a Hay puzzle. I think it's a Chris Ortega puzzle. This one here is a Louis Royal, and it is, I think, called Wings. Also a Hay puzzle. I came across this Fantasies collection and I liked it. So there's a few other ones I'm looking for too. So those ones I regularly look for on eBay. So now I'll share with you some tips if you're interested in purchasing on eBay. So tip number one would be to search often. So I go in there and I put in search terms, and I usually put a variety of them in. I may search by brand, I may search by piece count, artist, or even the exact title. And when you do that, you end up getting thousands of results. So then I go into the filter, and I may then search by ending soon, listed, newly listed, nearest me, and it gives me different results so that I can make sure I see a variety of puzzles. So tip number two is add to your wish list. So there's a section there where you can hit a button and add a puzzle to your wish list if you're interested in it. Even if it's very expensive, add it to the wish list, because what ends up happening is sometimes the sellers will reduce the the puzzle down the road, and then you'll get a notification. Also, they may provide a lower price offer to you and they'll send it. So it's always wise to add what you like to a wish list. So tip number 3 is read the description. So once I see a puzzle that I like, especially if it is a used puzzle, I will go to the description to see if it's complete. Also to see if there's any damaged pieces, if there's something wrong with the box. Also in the description, if the seller is selling many puzzles, sometimes they will tell you if they do combined shipping. So tip number 4 is place a bid at the end of the auction. So this is specifically if the puzzle is an auction puzzle. I would wait to the very end. I have seen puzzlers, as soon as the puzzle is listed, they're already placing bids, and that's only driving up the price of the puzzle. And I'm usually on there in the last minute. And if I really want this puzzle, I will place a bid in the last 5 seconds, and I will put my maximum bid because everybody else is on that auction waiting for it to end. And if it's a high demand puzzle, you could be in a bidding war in the last 5 seconds. I have seen that happen. Tip number 5 is make an offer. So some listings have a make an offer button, and that's if the seller has set that up. And if they did, take advantage of it. Make an offer, a lower offer if you want that puzzle. The worst they could say is no. So I've done that before. My 1,500 piece puzzle that was the FX Schmid one that I got for $6, I made a lower offer and I got that price. So one thing you need to remember though is if you make an offer, that's a commitment to buy. So it's not just a suggestion. If you making that offer, then you're committing to buy that puzzle if the seller accepts it. Tip number 6 is have patience. So in this current market, we can probably wait a little bit longer and see if the price goes down. There's so many puzzles out there now on eBay and other areas too, that it's really a buyer's market. So if it's not a high demand puzzle, you could wait. Now, if it's a high demand puzzle, chances are it's going to go. So, but if it's not, you will see listed on the listing how many people are watching it. So you can see how much interest is in that puzzle. And then you can wait it out. Like I did with my 1,500 piece Ravensburger puzzle that was coffee and cake. I waited it out to see if the price goes down. So you couldn't do that a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, those puzzles would be going quickly, but I think you can do that now. So overall, I find eBay a very useful source when I want to get those rare puzzles. It's not something that I normally shop on all the time. So I think for that purpose, it's great. I'd love to hear your experience about eBay. Do you use eBay? Have you had some good experiences? Have you found some treasures on eBay? Do you find it frustrating? Or maybe you had a bad experience. I'd love to hear your feedback. Please leave that in the comment section. Thank you for taking the time to view this video and for hearing my side of the story about eBay. I know that this is not a platform, or eBay is not a platform for everybody, but I hope you ended up picking up some tips. And if you did, please hit the like button. For all of those who have subscribed to my channel already, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Until next time, happy puzzling.